Yeah, so if you would carry the room, I remember this, or. Yeah, he did have a place that he could stay. Good. Yeah.
All right, it is 5:30. We will call this July 7th Board of Works meeting for order. Please rise and join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's get a few things out of the way here first. Clerk Treasurer Price, can you please call roll?
Mary Yates.
Here.
Brianna Maxwell.
Present.
Spencer Gingery.
He will be here. He is on the Hoosier Heartland, but he will be late. So go ahead. Tell your guys. All right, so we'll go ahead and I don't know if he's, I don't think we're gonna for the. We'll go ahead and do a couple things of business items. Spencer Kingery, the third Florida Works member, is very close. He's on Hoosier Heartland, so he'll be here momentarily. So we'll go ahead and knock out a few business items, if that's all right with you guys. And then once he gets here, we'll get it going with the big moment of swearing to Bethany. Is that fair enough? All right. All right. The June 2nd minutes have been presented for review. Is there a motion to approve? Or 16th, now we'll do the 30th, we'll do them in separate motions. The June 16th Board of Works meeting minutes, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And I will second. We'll open it up for discussion. Any questions, corrections, subtractions?
No.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approving the June 16th meeting minutes, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Carries. Second set of minutes is gonna be for the June 30th special meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second that, and open it up for discussion. Any comments, corrections, subtractions from the June 30th special Board of Works meeting? Here none, all in favor of approving the June 30th special meeting, that's signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I'm commission bureaus. Next item of business is gonna be the claims for July 7th, totaling $660,452.79. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussions, questions, comments on these submitted claims for July 7th?
I don't have a comment or a discussion on this one, but I want you to know that I have a revised version from June that has the new corrected appropriation numbers for the fire territory pay for the APVs that Chief Doolin turned in. So this is just a revised version with the new appropriation number. So I just wanted to make sure I let you know that as well.
And that one's gonna be, so that nothing's different other than the
Nope, nothing's
appropriation.
different except the appropriation numbers were corrected for the last meeting that we approved.
Okay,
So
that was,
I don't know.
anything further for Treasurer Price?
Yep.
Okay, here none, all in favor of approving the claim submitted for July 7th, totaling $660,452.79, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, go ahead and knock a few of these things out. He is a couple minutes out. Yeah, so the first item of new business is gonna be the emergency excavation permit for 315 Howard Street. This was a NIPSCO gas line, I believe, that got struck. Not, but I believe, Julie, the work was already performed because of an emergency leak. However, per protocol, we do need to approve it through the board. So first of all, we'll get a motion on the floor. Is there a motion to approve the emergency excavation permit for 315 Howard Street?
So moved.
Motion, I will second. Any discussion or questions about the emergency excavation permit for NIPSCO 315 Howard Street? All right, here none, all in favor of approving the excavation permit for 315 Howard Street, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Motion carried. All right, he's at Alley Craft, so we'll knock one more thing out. Next item of business is gonna be street closure, proposal for a street closure for Old Settlers. I believe that's gonna be Julia Leahy with Delphi Main Street, correct?
Sure, yes.
Julia?
Yes, so Old Settlers is coming up. August 7th through the 9th, and the footprint really hasn't changed any, the Carnival Company still wants the same amount of space, and so does Main Street. So we were looking at closing the streets at 5:15 on Tuesday, August the 5th. And reopen them by 8 PM on Sunday, August 10th. That is the plan. So we've even got a tent rented, and they're gonna come pick up the tent this year on Sunday, because I think it was on Monday last year. So that'll help open the streets up much faster.
Give it that time, one more.
Sure, 5:15 Tuesday, August 5th, reopen 8 PM Sunday, August 10th.
And the only difference is the tent being removed.
Yeah, I think last year it was still here on Monday.
Let me.
We went with a different tent company, and they'll get it out of here on Sunday for a little
Yeah.
extra.
Motion on the
Sorry.
floor. and-
Yes.
So is there a motion to approve the proposed street closure for Old Settlers through Delphi Main Street?
So moved.
All right, and I will second, all right. Discussion or questions from Julia's presentation?
The businesses already know, you, I'm sure.
I will definitely remind them,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. Yeah, all of them around the square, and then also where the campers are normally staged down by the railroad tracks. Do we need permission to use that for them as well?
It's usually
Is that a package deal?
that's usually a package deal, but we can throw that in there, I mean, because.
I mean, I had it on the back of the map that I sent you all your packets, so,
As well.
Okay.
Is it the same vendor?
yes,
Okay, so they do know.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I will get with Craig on where we need water set up too.
And just for the public's knowledge, the Old Settlers is always the first week of August, correct?
See,
So it's all, yeah.
it's the first Saturday is when the
The
official
first
meeting.
official day, yes.
Yes, the first
So
official
of course, they
meeting.
move in earlier.
Yeah.
So I get asked,
It does. It takes them, I mean, obviously, we want the safety of the carnival rides to meet all inspections, and it takes them a little longer than the carnival company you all used to have.
yeah, I know last year they stated they were short several staff. So with that comes, they work through the day trying to
Yes.
get them. There's a lot to set up a carnival.
There is.
There's a lot more than I realized before I started this position, as far as electric and getting everything tested, because of course, Mike here, Venture,
Pinterest here.
as the fire marshal comes and inspects things, correct? Correct. Yeah, so there's a lot of behind the scenes before we actually roll it out and open up to the public, so that
Yeah.
does take some time, and in
It does.
today's world with staff shortages,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it takes additional time with street closures, so. Okay. Any further questions? You are gonna notify the. businesses in the
Absolutely.
area?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll play around.
Yeah, I will do that very early, actually, this year, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Wanna make sure Spencer doesn't have anything, so you probably gonna be over there here in a second. He'll probably be out of breath.
That's not that Main Street, yeah.
What's that?
Is that what you were gonna ask?
What?
Were you gonna ask about Delphi Main Street? Oh, okay.
No, I mean, you had a motion on the floor.
That's who hosted it, so that's.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just wanna make sure,
make sure Spencer didn't have any.
didn't have any
concerns
questions,
about
because
that
this
one.
is.
Okay. Sure, for sure.
We have one more meeting before. If
Yeah.
anything with the change, but
4 weeks.
just wanna make sure.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, and we are working with US Aggregates to let them stage their trailers out there again as well, so,
Okay,
yeah. So all of that, to move way out of the downtown.
okay. What, you probably said today, but when they tear down, one thing that we've had in the past is they tear the things down and then kind of leave a couple vehicles sideways in the streets and then
Yeah.
we get phone calls for next day for specifically the Catholic Church. Where they have church, of
Oh,
course,
sure, on
several
Sunday, yeah,
sessions that Sunday and there's a big long trailer in front of us. And
okay.
we just make sure that
Yeah.
they know that.
Mark Mandela, the president of Main Street, he's the contact with them, so we'll make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure they are respectful of what we need here in the community. There he is.
Mr. Kinger, we were waiting to vote on the proposed, not that you need time to get settled in or anything, but the road closure for Old Settlers. There's no changes. The dates are, have been
August 5th
Yep.
through August.
just scheduled for Saturday of August. Proposing we use the railroad track area again like we have in the past for equipment. But other than that, there's really no changes. So I want to make sure you didn't have anything before we voted on this.
No.
I should have just asked you that on the fence, but we can't do that, so.
Okay.
Okay, very good. There's no further discussion or questions. I will. We will now vote favor approving the, you wanna make the. The road closures for Old Settlers. Find my paperwork here. Starting Tuesday, August 5th through Sunday, August 10th. Also the usage of the city of Delphi property by the railroad tracks, which we have utilized in the past. I think that's needs to be added to that. All in favor, signify by stating
Hi.
aye. Motion carries. All right, so now that you are here, we waited for you to get here for this. Thank you. We will go ahead and get the big moment out of the way. So for those of you that have seen the docket online or seen the news, we are pleased to announce that we have a new police officer joining our force. Chief Lowell, would you like to give a brief introduction of our newest patrolman?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mayor. So I'd like to introduce you as you're here, Bethany Johnson. Let's come on up here real quick. And I'd like to take a moment and recognize her parents because without them, you wouldn't be here, obviously. And they put a lot of time and effort to this journey that you have made to this position in your life. So Brian and Trish, why don't you stand up and greet the audience?
There we go.
They give a speech as well, right?
It's required.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So we'll turn it over to the mayor.
Okay, so Bethany, 23 years old, correct? Comes to us from the city of Warsaw. So we're excited to have her. She started officially yesterday. We'll get her sworn in, and I believe she's the chief, and she's gonna do FTO training for those of you that are aware, that's called field training officer. So she'll be with a field training officer for a allotted amount of time. Bethany comes to us with some experience, so that's good. She's been out and about. She's dealt with the public. She's dealt with the rules, the laws, which is very complicated in the world of law enforcement. So it's nice to have a little heads up on that, and hopefully we can get her going pretty quickly. But anyway, anything else you want to add before we swear her in?
No, I think you covered it nicely. You mentioned that she's had training. Of course, she's been through the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, graduate academy. And she's had some experience in law enforcement, so we're glad to have her on board.
Okay.
Welcome her.
Okay, you ready to do this? Okay. So if you would raise your right hand, place your other hand on the Bible, repeat after me. I, Bethany Johnson,
I, Bethany Johnson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana. Nope, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and
Constitution of the State.
Constitution of the State of Indiana
And the ordinances of the City of Delphi.
ordinances of the city of Delphi,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and diligently
that I will faithfully, partially, and diligently
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
according to the law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard. Anything you want to say to the, or your, you know, give your first?
I'm super excited and I'm ready to learn and ready to get out in the community.
Anybody got any questions for Bethany? Go put her right on the spot, right off the bat.
Let's do it.
No? Okay, we'll get this signed and then. And once it gets some pictures, we'll have you sign right here for me. Yep. Very easy. I'll make a copy of this and give it to Chief Boland tomorrow. Price. She has her, you're gonna give her her badge. Finding out there, okay. That's an important part of the career, right? So anyway,
Our deputation, right.
congratulations, we're excited to have you and good luck. We'll see you tomorrow morning. If you guys want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. We got the rest of this meeting and council. Probably not what you want to do, but anyway, welcome to our City of Delphi family and we're pleased to have you, so.
Mayor, let them do photos real quick while they're here.
What's that?
Let them do photos while
We'll do
they're
some
here.
photos? Sure. Okay.
They're here. No.
Let's see, we move over here, you walk here. Yeah. Sure. I'll take them and I'll send it to you.
Hey, in the background.
Yeah.
In the background. Yeah, background, in the background.
Please don't. You don't need to look.
Okay,
Yeah, there you go. Smile.
that's good. Count of three, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Remember code section.
1, 2, 3. All right, very good.
Good.
Okay, before you get down there, why don't we do this real quick, guys, why don't you come up and circle around? There's some pictures. Very unique sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. We got it right there.
I don't know how.
Might have to. Yeah.
Oh, not big yet. There you go. Need a white can.
I don't play tennis. I'm not left-handed. And
All right, everybody ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. I can't do it that way. We won't fit, but 3 people in there. So, all right. Any other?
Yeah, everybody?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
I was like,
Go again.
yeah, I'm not playing it in.
That's the play.
Wait till everybody gets it.
That's right.
Excellent. Looks good.
Okay, congratulations. Have a wonderful evening. What do you got to think for the rest of it? All right. Okay, good.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I don't think, we don't have a whole lot of choices on
You
Monday.
might as well go to Elwood Lunch.
Congratulations. Yeah, I think that's the only one that we have is the, L Lunch, frequency.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mom.
All right, we will continue on with our regular business. Next item of business is gonna be,
That's it.
again, Julia Leahy, she's still here.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Okay, you're on the floor again.
Okay. I might need
Director Fisher's help on this one too, and maybe Mark. So, as you know, Delphi Main Street oversees the doing Delphi markets every third Saturday. They have gotten kind of big, so we're up to 30 to 35 vendors now. And, as you may recall, they've been on one side of the square, or one side of the street all around the square. There's been a lot of safety concerns lately with so many people coming to town, children darting in and out, and even vendors where they sit are very close to traffic. And so I wanted to at least put in a request to you to consider letting us close Washington Street between Main and Franklin, just for the market, duration of the market. The vendors start rolling in sometimes at 6:30 AM, and we would be open about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did check with the businesses on the street. There are 11. One is going away, and park consignment will be closing. But, so I didn't talk to them. And 5 of the 10 all were highly favored the idea, because it's gonna bring more street traffic, a lot of foot traffic, not street traffic, foot traffic to their businesses. And one was like, we have elderly clients that really need to park right in front, but. So I anticipated that one. And then the other 4, I didn't have a reply from. So, I mean, I emailed them and Facebook messaged them and stuff, so.
These from East Main down to the track, is that where you're getting 11?
No.
This is Washington, right?
Just Washington.
Just Washington, there's 11.
Frank.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the salon on one end, to Hometown, to the gallery, to the Opera House, to Paredes. I talked to Paredes, Rock Shop, all the way, there's 11 there. So, yeah. But anyway, I think safety concerns, Director Fincher had expressed that too. Just kind of safety.
One of the issues, and I brought it up several years ago, was having traffic flowing while you got people parked along the side. And changing the tactics that anybody's using is vehicle ramming. Is it gonna happen here? I don't know. Nobody knows if it's gonna happen here. But there's also, if you don't shut down part of the road and don't put any barriers up, you got vendors that have their backs turned, somebody driving down the road looks at something funny and they slam into a vendor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the smartest thing to do would be to shut it down, the traffic.
And we could put all of the vendors then on that one block instead of stretching them all the way around the square. I mean, it's gonna create more foot traffic to the businesses. Most of them are like, yeah, we like the idea of doing sidewalk sales. What can we do to bring more in our doors? If you're familiar with the markets, you'll see where the vendors have their back to the traffic. I mean, they're at the top of the parking, and and those orange cones are a distraction, but not enough sometimes when people are looking. So I think we've been very lucky no one's been hit personally, and we've grown to over 30 vendors now.
So would that consolidate from Market and Franklin, everything to Washington?
Everything to Washington.
So we would leave the others. So.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so it'd just be for the remainder of the markets this year, and we can revisit next year, but, so July, August, and September is the request. We've already approved October because that's the 5K. So, yeah, after meeting with Mike and kind of hearing his concerns too, I thought maybe it's a good time to talk about that.
So just a general question, choosing Washington over closing Franklin entirely, was that based on electricity used or what?
No, it's mainly based on the amount of foot traffic that would be generated and the most amount of retail businesses. So right now you only have one retailer on Franklin, and we have a lot of retail on Washington, so it would benefit them the most, I guess is my theory. Also, and it's very visible from Main Street of the light. It's just more, it shows things going on, it gets people here, gets people walking around and experiencing the downtown. So that was the idea.
First of all, let me get a motion on the board and we'll. There a motion to approve the proposed doing Delphi street closure to Washington Street for the remaining Delphi, do it in Delphi festivals.
Make a motion that we approve of Washington Street from Main to Franklin. For the Delphi the remainder of this year.
Second.
Okay. I have a
And I
motion
think-
and a second.
To answer your question too, was we wanted it to provide the most benefit to the businesses too. You don't want it to hurt them, so by having it on that street, obviously there's more impact because of the number of retailers.
So my only concern after all this,
Sure,
businesses that would, maybe voice their opinion
Yes.
later on. if
Yes.
You could just relay that to us so we have an
I
idea,
will,
because we
Yes.
want to hear their voice on it too.
yeah,
Obviously, if it's detrimental to their business, they have to revisit it, but ultimately we want it to
Right.
be safe.
Yeah.
But we also have to be fair to the businesses that.
sure. And I was concerned about Feretta's too, since they're gonna be finally opening.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't open till the afternoon generally, so. And he said, just do me a favor, save a spot out front, I'll be out front. So I mean, he gets it. He knows he should be out front, encouraging people to come in as well. So,
Any further questions from the board for Julia, Venture or Mark?
I think
Okay, so do we want to make, change the motion to or approve it based on how the, proceed? If there's any issues, we revisit it.
just leave it as it is and then she can come back and do something different if needed.
Right, very good.
Because if there's no plans at all, then we put this again, sure.
Okay, there's no further questions or discussion. We're gonna vote, all in favor of approving the street, so Washington Street from Franklin to Main from 6:30 AM to 3 o'clock PM on Good and Delphi Saturdays, July 19th, August 16th, and September 20th. All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I,
thank you.
Aye. Motion-
Yeah, we'll keep everybody informed.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you give me those dates again, July what?
July 19th, August 16th,
Okay,
and September 20th.
okay, perfect. Thank
The
you.
market itself is 10 to 2.
All right, next item of business is gonna be a fiber optic excavation permit submitted by Frontier Communications. The board has received your packet for that. First of all, get a motion on the floor. Is there a motion to approve the excavation permit for Frontier Communications?
So moved.
second,
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Comments, concerns regarding proposed permit? We did send it to the department heads. And did not see back any issues.
Question.
Okay. Here none, I have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the excavation permit for fiber optic for Frontier Communications, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I,
And I'm an aye, motion carried. Next item of business is one that came in towards the end of last week. They proposal to use the main lift on the sidewalk for 113 West Franklin Street. Is there a motion to approve?
so moved,
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion second. Any discussion or questions? I believe she was supposed to have been here.
You get the rundown on it.
All right.
For a business or what's it?
That's why she was supposed to, because it was a late Thursday or Wednesday when she submitted it. I don't see her here.
Was this,
so they're repainting the.
Yeah, she spoke with Carmen that it's not a very long project, so I don't know what Carmen put in the notes, but that's why asked her to be here. Current window trim on the upper level of the building, it's gonna be the same color. Proposed dates are gonna be July 26th and 27th, or August 2nd or 3rd. So. A little bit back and forth here.
Yeah.
One of them says 2 days, the other one says August 2nd or August 3rd, meaning
one or the other?
one or the other, so I'm not, that's why I asked her to be present, but we'll have to.
We have another meeting before.
Yes, we do, so. If you guys have additional questions, we can hold off until the next Board of Works, however.
We already have.
We'll table it there, but. Yeah, my guess is it's just one of the regular scissor lists that's gonna. And that sidewalk right there is pretty wide, honestly, so. I know them blocking it off probably would still leave a little bit of room, but. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get the full picture from the actual applicant, so. All right, I have a motion and a second, so do we wish to proceed or table till the next Board of Works meeting, having someone present? This table. Okay. All right, since we do not have a representative for this request. We did have someone to reach out to her, so. Withdraw your position.
You only, do I have to withdraw my motion to the table or not?
No, I mean, we had a motion to approve to start with, so withdraw that one and then a new motion to table. Unless that's her. Because we had an empty motion was to approve it. Or
No, make a motion, that's wrong.
withdraw is one, and then we do one to.
I make a motion that I make my motion, rescind my motion.
Yes.
Second.
Then I make a motion to table.
Use of family.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So he rescinded his first motion, which was to approve. And then made another motion. To table.
Third.
Second. Motion to table. Spencer.
Good,
Okay,
okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any additional discussion or questions? There are none, all in favor of tabling, the proposed man lift usage on 113 West Franklin Street, signify by saying aye. And very good. That is all the business items. Is Chief Mullen still there?
they're outside the door.
Cody, could you grab Chief Mullen? No. Yes, sir. Did you have anything additional for the board works?
I did not, sir.
Okay. See, I had you there.
We're just testing you.
Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so, the van,
Oh, yes.
yes, you want to explain briefly, or, the van was, it didn't need a formal approval because there was no transaction, it was a simple trade, so money exchange, but you want to go real quickly explain that to the board of work.
Yes, so the van was a straight trade to the company that we purchased the car from, I believe it was a 2016 Ford Taurus, through a place called Chicago Motors. And Chicago Motors, deals specifically in police-related vehicles. So, they offered a price which was comparable to the value of the van. And, so we decided to go ahead and purchase the van as a utility vehicle for the city and a vehicle that can be used for multiple purposes. And actually, I think we're probably coming out ahead, with the car. The value of it, if it is traded locally here, or in auction, will probably come to around $3,000 because it was already outfitted and mutilated, if you will, for police purposes. It had a back seat that was taken out, and there was a hard plastic back seat. The radios had been put in, and they had cut holes in the frame of the car and the body of the car in order to install those things, and also had a crash bumper on the front of it. Probably not an appealing item for most people wanting to buy a family car. So it was gonna fetch somewhere around $3,000. We managed to get about $9,000 for it up there at Chicago Motors. They had a vehicle that was on their lot. They were willing to trade even for us. So we came out ahead.
So didn't, we checked with the. You obviously checked with all the state accounts and all the, make sure that we were good to go on this. We spoke with our legal team. So even swap and then we'll have a full vehicle for usage and. Yeah, so information for the council. It wasn't a transaction that met the threshold for any resolution or any any further action, so that's all I had, but thank you, I wanted to make sure we got that out.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. That is all the business items, we're running a little bit late here, so I have a couple quick things to say. One, thank you to Delphi Main Street for the fireworks. Wonderful. As always, another busy crowd, hot, so, thank you to Delphi Fire Department, Delphi Lions for hosting the, 4th of July parade, the VFW Honor Guard, Street and Water Departments for helping close roads. We also had, Flora, and came to bring apparatus over and, had a good turnout, so, another thing real quick, we had a meeting last week with NDOT about the upcoming bridge closure. It will be in 2026. I will start putting things out to the public once NDOT starts making their DES numbers and all that to the public. I just want to give everybody a heads up that that's right around the corner. So proposed March of 2026, and we've been in a lot of meetings preparing and trying to make sure we have the traffic routes, the best that we can do for big truck traffic, which is Packers, the grain trucks and all that. So we're still working through some things that NDOT can hopefully help us with, but I'll keep the public posted once everything becomes final. With that being said, Clerk Treasurer Price, do you have any, or we'll cut the board comments?
Congratulations to Officer Johnson, welcome.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Clerk Treasurer Price? No? Public comments? It's hot, Bill. All right, Marion, do you have anything?
Yep.
All right, here none, there's motion on that. Have a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:06 P.M. Well, it is hot.